What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. These two heavyweight gladiators put on an epic performance and closed the chapter on a great trilogy, one of the greatest trilogies in the sport of boxing. Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. When you talk about Fury, you talk about the WBC heavyweight champion, the Ring Magazine heavyweight champion, and the unquestioned #1 heavyweight in the division. Make no mistake about it. And when you talk about Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber is his nickname. You know, he had 10 successful defenses of his WBC title. He's the master of the one-hitter quitter, the hardest puncher in boxing history. These two guys will be linked just like Ali and Frazier was linked, just like Holyfield and Bowe were linked, just like Barrera and Morales was linked, and just like Pacquiao and Marquez were linked. Great trilogy, great trilogy. You know, in the Pacquiao-Marquez fight, they actually fought 4 times. But, you know, even at the third time, they could have stopped at the third time and it was going to be an all-time great trilogy between those two guys. They decided to do a 4th time. So, this is one of the great heavyweight fights that I've seen since George Foreman, Ron Lyle. If y'all haven't seen that fight, y'all need to go back and Google that fight. That is, in my opinion, the greatest action-packed heavyweight fight of all time. And this fight here is the greatest action-packed heavyweight championship fight of all time. The only difference between Ron Lyle, George Foreman, and Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury was that Foreman and Lyle, I think that was for like an NABF heavyweight title, but that was not a major belt. So that basically, I'm not going to say that was a major title fight. You know, the champion at that time was Muhammad Ali. He was the unquestioned #1 heavyweight at that time when those two guys fought. He was fresh off a victory over George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle in Kinshasa, right near Zaire, Africa. With that being said, let's didn't get too much headline news. What both fighters made for this fight. You know, I know a lot of people saying, man, they made like around $20 million in the last fight. And that's probably what it was when they walked away with at the end of the day. You know, when they got the money that the guaranteed money that they got, and then they made back end money. Maybe both fighters did walk away with $20 million. But we don't know. We're just going to go by what the official purses that was revealed by the Nevada Boxing Commission. And they revealed those purses actually yesterday. I don't know why they didn't reveal the purses before the fight. They usually reveal the purses like the Friday before the fight when it's taking place Saturday. You know, they'll reveal the purses. You know, Dan Raphael, he'll usually release those purses. And maybe he did. I don't know. I didn't really catch it if he did. But I did catch the statement that was put out by the Nevada Boxing Commission. And the total pot for this fight was $10 million. So with the 60-40 split in favor of Tyson Fury, that means that Tyson Fury got $6 million and Deontay Wilder got $4 million. Now, both fighters are going to get back-end money on the pay-per-view. That's how I usually work with fighters that have established themselves on the level of a Fury and a Wilder. They usually get a percentage of the pay-per-view. So at the end of the day, I would have, you know, if I had to crunch the numbers right now, the fight is trending toward $1 million pay-per-view buys. Now, that's what Bob Arum said, a.k.a. the Bob Father. But you do have to take what he say with a grain of salt, because it's the same guy that said, yesterday I was lying, but today I'm telling the truth. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. But he's a guy that, believe me, what I said yesterday, but that was a lie. Believe what I'm saying today, because this is the truth. So he's one of them guys you can, you know, you take it with a grain of salt. But he said it is doing much better than the second fight. Now, the second fight did 860,000 pay-per-view buys. And Bob Arum said on Barbershop Conversation that the fight is trending toward $1 million. Now, if that's the case, Fury should walk away with around $20 million. And Deontay Wilder should walk away with around $16 million. when it's all said and done. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. Now I'm hearing that the live gate is going to do around $10 million. Now that's $7 million shorter than what the live gate did for the second fight. Now part of the problem was that President Joe Biden had a travel ban on the UK, so the fans weren't able to come down here and show up and watch the fight, pay their tickets and pay hotel rates, and basically, spend big dollars for the seats for the Fury Wilder fight. They weren't able to come down here and attend the fight, and that hurt the gate. But the gate still did $10 million, and the pay-per-view is doing better than the second fight. So when it's all said and done, they basically might make it just about as much money as they made in the third fight than they made in the second fight. That's what I'm saying. That's what it might. When you put the pay-per-view with the gate, it's probably gonna come out about even. And when you look at the second and third fight, because the second fight did what, $17 million gate and 860,000 pay-per-view buys. Now, if this third fight does $1 million like Bob Father said it did, and then you put that with the $10 million, that's pretty much that's pretty much a wash when you talk about second and third fights. So both guys are making good money for both fights. It look like everybody's happy. The promoters, they're very happy with the pay-per-view. Now the pay-per-view price was the same as it was in the second fight. So the pay-per-view is what really drives the bus. The gate, that's good when you do a real good gate. $17 million gate, that's real good. $10 million gate, that's real good. But the pay-per-view buy, that's what drives the bus. That's the engine that make that car go. Make no mistake about it. If you rather do you want to do a good gate, but you want to do a real good pay-per-view. That's where the money at. You're looking at with the HD, what is that like? Basically, what was it? $79.99 and then $89.99 with the HD. So we basically talking about $80 with the regular TV. With the regular picture and with the HD, $90. And you time that by $1 million. What's that? That's $90 million that this fight produced. So, hey man, once you pay Fury, you pay Wilder, you pay the undercard, the promoters get their cut, ESPN get their cut, Fox get their cut, everybody gonna be happy with that figure compared to 860,000 times 90. So that's just what it is, man. I just wanted to reveal those figures to you, man. I got those figures yesterday. I'm surprised nobody really talked about what both fighters was going to get. I guess they assumed they was going to make about what they made in the second fight. But the problem was the split was going to be different. It was 50-50 in the second fight. It was 60-40 in favor of Fury, who had won the second fight. And then again, like I say, the pay-per-view is doing much better, according to Bob Arum. So let me know your thoughts about what Fury made in this fight. $6 million guarantee and Wilder $4 million guarantee. Did you think it was going to be much higher guarantee for both fighters? Or does that sound about right? Let me know your thoughts about it. The pay-per-view buys 20 toward $1 million. Do you believe it? Or do you believe it's doing much less than that? Let me know your thoughts. So is Bob Arum also not telling you that, hey, I'm talking about the pay-per-view buys and the digital. I'm combining both of them. That's why I'm saying it's trending toward $1 million. He might not just be talking about just the pay-per-view buys by itself. He might be talking about that and with the streaming, the digital numbers they're doing. They probably combining those. People didn't want to do that in the second fight. They were talking about, they did 860,000 pay-per-view buys. But was that with the digital numbers too? With the streaming sites and all that? Was that all together or was it just the pay-per-view buys? We don't know that. I think it was all together. Especially where Bob Arum said it on the barbershop conversation. He said 860,000. Now he's saying this is $1 million. So maybe he's just talking about just the pay-per-view buys, or maybe talking about the pay-per-view buys and the streaming digital numbers. But whatever the case may be, man, it's doing very well. And I know everybody's happy. Everybody's going to line their pockets up. And both fighters going to go into their own separate direction and pursue other opponents as the chapter has now been closed on the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder saga in 3 great fights. Let me know your thoughts and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I'll holla.